Okay. So something just happened. Hold on one moment. Okay, there you go. Yeah, technology. I'm so learning some stuff right now.
We all are.
So good evening, everyone. We have a treat for everyone here. We have a gentleman that's on, and he is going to help us with some financial wealth building. He is going to help us with some financial wealth building. I want to tell you all just a little bit about our guest tonight. Now, Mr. Darryl, I'm going to let you pronounce your last name for me.
Chicoine.
Chicoine. Okay. Chicoine. So, Mr. Darryl has agreed to come in and give us some financial insight about turning money into wealth in a virtual way. Talk to us about exactly what it is you do, Mr. Darryl.
Yeah, so the biggest thing, Letha, is I work for freedom and everybody's chasing the bill money at the end of the month. And if and I used to too. I made all these mistakes. It actually took me till I was 50 years old to actually realize a different way on how the wealthy do it. And and now I work for freedom. So my plans and goals are way bigger when you work for freedom. When you work for your bill money at the end of the month, we always seem to be able to do that because we've been doing that and surviving our whole lives. And when you just change that perspective, that game plan to, hey, how can I be free? How can I do what I want? Then that game plan actually completely changes. And when that game plan completely changes, usually 10 out of 10 times, you really got to change the vehicle you're in that you're using to try to gain freedom or wealth or whatever you're searching for. Now I see so many people just in the wrong vehicle because I was there too. I've made all the mistakes. And like I said, I worked hard for money. I'm a Gen Xer. So my family raised me, my father raised me. You got to work hard for money. That's what he learned. So that's what I did until I had a health scare and realized, hey, like I don't have free time. Like I was making good money in a previous business that I used to run. I was making great money and living a gorgeous life, but I had no time. Like I was oh, I can't wait for Friday to come. And my energy would completely shift and I would be out of bed Saturday morning with no problems. And then that Sunday afternoon, Sunday evening would come and I could feel my energy slowly going downhill because that old Monday morning grind was coming around the corner. And this is my own business. I had to drag myself out of bed every morning with my own business because I just wasn't fulfilled. I wasn't quite happy. So I completely changed my perspective, completely changed my game plan, and that's how I live a life of doing actually what I want every single day. I work early. I'm an early riser. This is late for me. This is really late for me, but I'm an early riser and I get my work done at 10, 11 o'clock. I'm good to go for the day and one whatever I want to do. So that's I can't say enough about that feeling. Of being able to choose when you get up, what do you want to do today? You don't even have to make plans because you have like you say you have one Saturday, like what am I going to do Saturday? And you plan it for 4 or 5 days. It's not like that at all. So I suggest to everybody they try to figure out a better game plan and work for freedom because you hear all these retired people. I'm not retired, I'm only 50. You hear all these retired people saying, oh, and they worked their whole life and now they're free and now they're happy and they do what they want. Well, folks, if you could figure out a different game to get there a lot earlier, things are way more easier, less stress, and just happier life, right? So this is what I wish for everybody.
So, Mr. Darryl, with comes anything. It's gonna be somebody to say, well, okay, so how do people get started in that freedom? What are steps that people need to make? What is your advice? How would you advise somebody to say, okay, Mr. Darryl, I'm willing to give it a shot. I'm willing to trust this process. At what point, what is it that people, as myself and others, people in general who are dragging them not just to their jobs, there are people who
Mhm.
really need it, who need it though, you know, um, for a lot of reasons. So what would be the advice, or what steps need to be done to start putting this type of the motions moving forward?
Right, great question. And I'm going to answer it a little differently. We're going to get real raw here. Um, People and coaches and mentors can give you strategies and frameworks that work. They do work. What doesn't work is the people don't work. So step one, you got to bust your beliefs about what you're doing, about that your brain has been programmed. What I say your, because mine was and now it's not. See, I busted those beliefs, and I do not believe that what humans were taught was best for them. Actually, it's not. Facts. So step one is you got to bust your beliefs. If you're an employee or self-employed person, that's a trap that the system has created to keep us small, to keep us borrowing from the banks, to keep us in fear, in lack, in scarcity, in low vibration energy, because money is energy. If you study deeply what money is, it's actually energy. And all the low vibe people don't have enough of it. So to tell you what steps is, you gotta, number one, you gotta bust the belief systems that were programmed into our heads for years and years, decades, from generations before us. So that is actually step one. And then you gotta switch vehicles, would be step two. Like, what are you doing now? If you got paid double, if your boss or your job or whoever paid you double the amount of money, which would be highly unlikely, would you have a rich life if you were paid double? No, your level of your lifestyle would go up, but you would not be free. Definitely would not be free. So there are many steps, but step one, everything is mental. This whole complete wealth game is mental. Step one.
So I heard you mention that you were working for yourselves, you had to pull yourself, even with working for yourself, you changed your mindset. You was willing to switch vehicles. So, okay, I'm willing to switch vehicles. I'm willing to shift my mindset. So when people say, when people say, when you say put in the work, exactly what will be required? Else would be required outside of that mindset? What does a 1 hour routine look like with this wealth building system? Do people have to sell? Do people have to, because these are questions that people tend to ask. Am I going, oh my gosh, am I going to have to reach out to my family because my family don't this, my family don't that? We got all these reasons why things can't be done, right? So what would be the response to that?
You got a few questions in there. Which one do you want me to answer?
All of them.
So yeah, again, friends and family, it's like the crab bucket. They're all pulling you back down. When you talk about going up, They just want it when they don't have what it takes, or they have the heavy programming, or they don't have the self-worth, or they don't have the confidence, and they don't have the drive, and they don't have the imagination, and all those big goals and dreams, and believe that they can do it. Those people are the ones who are going to pull you back down. So yeah, when I say change vehicles, when Letha, if you look at it in a big picture, there are four quadrants of income. You can either be an employee, you can be self-employed, you can be a business owner, and you can be an investor. That's really the big four categories where income comes from. So quickly going through them. An employee, you trade your time for money. You try to get the most amount per hour or per day for the least amount of work. And in a self-employed, you actually own the business, but the business owns you. You're still trading time for money, doing things every day, wearing 11 different hats. Actually harder than being an employee because you can't turn your brain off at night. So those two income quadrants are basically trading time for money. Now, when you look at wealthy people, they don't do any of those things. Wealthy people do not send their kids to the schools that we go to. Wealthy people do not live in the employee self-employed quadrant. Wealthy people live in the business owner quadrant. And when you're a business owner, that's when you have a system that works for you so you don't have to work for money. And when you have a system now working for you, you can increase your income because you're not trading your time for money, your resources. You can sell 100 units of something right now, and that allows you to make way more money. And then a wise person would say, hey, I'm going to increase my living standard of living a little bit, but all that extra money, like 40% more, I'm going to push it towards investments. So you start living in the business owner investor quadrants. That's the jump you need to make. So the question is, how do you do that? Well, you have to stop trading your time for money, and you have to create a system. So I'll give you a perfect example. Um, when I stopped working trading time for money 8 years ago, I completely shifted and went digital. And what I did was I went on a holiday, and I'm watching everywhere, and Wi-Fi connectivity was a big thing. People want to be connected. And we were restaurant hoppers. I just love going around and on a motorcycle and boats to restaurants all over the place. That's our entertainment. So, going to restaurants and looking for Wi-Fi connectivity, I put this thing together and I developed software that automates sales and marketing for the restaurant industry using Wi-Fi technology. There's not many people doing this. So I found out that once I implemented this system, once I got it built, I didn't know how to build this. I had people, I had an idea, and then I got programmers to build this for me. It was an idea. You don't need to learn everything. So once I put this system in place, I just got 100 businesses to pay me $200 a month. And if you do the math, that's what I used to make working my ass off 14 hours a day. And now with this digital business laptop lifestyle, I could actually travel around, which we've been doing for 8 years, and living in different places. And with the system working for me, whether I was 2,000 miles away, 20 miles away, I did not need to be there. So this was a huge shift for me and an eye opener. And that's what I do now. I build systems for other people. I help them. I extract their knowledge, their skills, their life lessons. We have people who couldn't get healed with the healthcare system, who healed holistically. And I've taken that information and said, girl, you could package that and sell it to somebody because people have been suffering for this with this disease that you have for 10 years and they can't figure it out. They would gladly pay people, and we looked it up, and gladly pay you to help them in 6 months fix their problem. We have all kinds of people who we extract their knowledge from and create courses and programs to help other people, which elevates the humans on this planet as well, and busting out of the old system. So that's what I do for other people. I did it for myself. It completely changed my life. It completely gave me a freedom lifestyle. And yeah, the laptop lifestyle is not easy. It's not bullshit. A $7 course is not going to make you a millionaire. Yes, you have to sell. Everything is sales today. You sell your kids today. You sell your parents. You're selling all the time. But when you say I don't want to sell, I agree with you because that's an old program thought. But when you learn, when you have a program that whatever amount of money you charge, here's a great example. So I have virtual wealth creators right now. I charge $297 a month for people, and I show them how to make 5 to 10 or way more per month. So why would they cancel that if I can make them 5 or 10 grand per month for their 297 investment? See, it's the platform they need that I put together that automates all this. So what we do is we make each person's program worth 100 times the transformation that the people will get is worth 100 times more than whatever they pay for it. So when you go into the internet world or the internet business or this game, knowing that your offer is 100 times worth than the value that you put on it, and your messaging is making people aware of some problems and some things and helping them become more aware, like the quadrants I just showed you. You got to get out of the employee self-employed quadrant. You just have to. If you just keep sharing messages, people will like you, know you, trust you, and then, hey, what do you got? I don't really sell. I just really bring awareness to people by doing things like this. And if people like you, they say, hey, tell me more. So with the sales and sleazy car salesman days, yeah, we sure all had bad experience with salespeople. But the way we do it at Virtual Wealth Creators is we just do the messaging and the offer around huge value that we do not feel like we're selling whatsoever. It's actually, I tell my people, since you've created this, you're doing a disservice if you do not tell people about this great offer who could help people, who could help elevate people to the next level. So sales are very easy when you have something to help people, and the payback is worth way more than they could have than what they did pay. So it's very easy actually.
I want to thank you for saying that, because you basically acknowledge that people really need the knowledge. People just read the knowledge. They need the knowledge. People don't know how but also people don't know how to trust.
Yeah.
Um, you know, people don't know how to trust. And one thing I commend you on is the fact that you're not trying to tell people to sell. You know what you do is real, because this is what you do. This is nothing that you know somebody else gave you a script to go by. And I think that that plays a heavy role in that also with the virtual world. And I'm just asking, at some point, we know that with advertising and business building, it appears to be that the virtual world plays more has more of a demand than what it did even like a year or so ago. So is there a certain age bracket of people that are more willing to get on board versus an age bracket of people that may be like, I'm not comfortable with this? Or do you see more of a mixed age bracket? And the reason I'm asking about age, because sometimes it seems that people that fall over a certain age may not be willing versus people who are under a certain age who fall in this virtual social media world, and they was born into it versus we live part of the transition. Is there some type of resistance you see from either side as far as the age goes?
Yeah, I work with all kinds of age groups, and um, baby boomers who still have to work, unfortunately, want to do this so bad, but they're heavily programmed, years and years of heavily programmed. They can't come on and do a video and be authentic and live. They're trying to they do it scripted. They're not exciting. They're not authentic. So they're struggling is what I see. And a lot of people, like I said, I give them the strategies and what to do and what to say, and they're just they're how can I say it? They should have started a little bit earlier. I think it would have been much easier for them to start a little early. So now, can you start? Absolutely. I was a Gen Xer and I completely changed my life at 50 years old, completely dropped my old life and went into this new world. So there is no age for this, but the younger generation, when I work with younger people, shit, they just don't have the knowledge on how to build a business, on how to build a machine, on what to properly feed this machine. They don't know that knowledge, but they're great at tech. They're faster with tech than me. They get it. They grew up with it. So the younger generation, like the millennials, shit, give me every millennial who can't pay their school debt, and I'll show them how to turn their life completely around because they can pick up this stuff really, really fast. The older people seem to have more knowledge to share just because of their age and wisdom, and we create courses and products from life lessons and traumas and things like that. So the older generations have more information, but the younger crew, boy, they get this technology, and if they could just tap into a niche or a need and help people, they actually really got it going on. And I want to say something sort of to that. When you get into this, a lot of people feel, which is not true, that they can't help other people. Oh, I have to be like my idol or my mentor before I could ever do anything. Well, that's not true, because if your idol or mentor or somebody you look up to is on a scale of 1 to 10, say, out of 10 that you think, you could learn enough and be a 6 or a 7 and still teach people at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, all those people, but you're waiting to get to be the best. Start teaching people who do not know as much as you, so you can start at any age, at any time. Start. This is how you begin. You have to start. Just start.
Wow. I want to ask you about one little thing on your flyer, and I apologize, I had it pulled up. So when we talk about the old income to the digital income, and where do you see physical money? What is your trajectory or your insight as far as physical money in the next 10 to maybe 15 years?
Yeah, I'm not a good person with that one, but
Okay.
I do believe that the corporations are crashing. The big conglomerate corporations are crashing. I think entrepreneurship is coming up. I think there's going to be people. Well, we see it. We see it now. We see the world changing. The world is shifting, and I can't wait. You see what's crumbling in the world today. You see all the crap that um if you don't watch news and you go a little deeper, you can see and hear all the things. Hey, the old system is crumbling. So people coming to their marketplace with their gifts, with their value, with their talents, with their skills, with their knowledge is going to be the new world. And that's the digital world because this is how we transfer information and we connect with people. This is why it's changing. How the money will work, there's quite a few. There's all kinds of things about how this whole thing is going to crash and Nacero Jacero is going to take over. That would be something. I don't know if you've ever heard of that, or just digital money and no paper money. I really don't know, and I don't dive deep into that part because I know that I'm abundant and I receive things. So, however, the actual money part changes, I know when I play my part in humanity and helping others to help lift up others. So the struggle isn't such a hard struggle that I'm going to be compensated with everything I need. So as far as thinking about what's a form of money and is it all going to be crypto, I can't answer that one. Sorry.
So you have someone, let's say, and they're working, and they may not have this, big time, whatever. One thing I realized over the past few years, I said we should have started. This is just my personal opinion; it's not a fact, but I believe one thing we should have done in our home was tell our children, if you're going to invest more than 25 hours a week for somebody, you need some type of benefits. I would say for myself that ball was dropped. However, being raised was taught to work, go to school, you go to church, or if you're not gonna go to school after you graduate, you're gonna go to the military. That's just what it was. It wasn't oh, put money to the side. It wasn't prepare for retirement. It wasn't you buy a house, expenses occur. It wasn't any of the knowledge, even just it was no true financial knowledge truly given from what I can say that I truly lived through. Like the discussions were never had. They never came up except in school when they taught us how to write a check and add and subtract. So we knew the bare minimum because we was taught it. So you take somebody who may be in our age bracket. I'm 45, and like, hey, I really want to make this shift. How can you encourage people to possibly balance? So what advice would you give somebody who may want to make the shift, but they have to make the shift in a transition type way?
Oh yeah, everybody should make the transition into this. Like I did it backwards. I turned off my old business and
Okay.
completely went cold turkey, burned the damn bridge, and had to figure it out. Now, although that is a good way because now you can't turn back, now you don't have that little cushion, comfort zone that you go back to your old job. So that helped you really figure it out. But I'll tell you, it doesn't happen overnight. And there's a lot of mistakes that were made because I tried to do it myself. This was before I paid lots of money for coaches and paid for speed. Show me how to speed this thing up because they were ahead of me. See, coaches aren't better than you, they're just ahead of you. So once I figured that, I couldn't hire enough coaches. Okay, what do I need now? Boom. And I jump. What do I need now? I learned that piece and I jumped. So I paid for knowledge. I paid for speed. So I suggest that people grab a mentor, grab a coach, because you cannot figure this out. Otherwise, you would have already. You would have already. You're still programmed with the old beliefs and thoughts of go to school, get good grades, get a good job. That's the belief busting that you have to bust. That was step one, that you need to do that. But find a mentor who's living your exact life. So if you're a musician, find somebody who's doing that and model them, copy them. If somebody's doing a virtual, living a laptop lifestyle and traveling the world, find out what they're doing. Hey, how do you do this? Ask questions. People don't ask questions. People don't ask questions. It's amazing. So you have to be inquisitive. You have to want to know. And the other thing is, in when people are making this transition, you know, here's one thing. When I start working for somebody, I say, like, are you interested in doing this? Like, you see people, yeah, you're interested, or you, no fucking way. I'm committed. I don't care what it takes. This was me. I don't care what it takes. I am going to learn whatever it takes to be able to live that lifestyle. I don't care how many roadblocks there are. I don't care how long it takes. I don't care how much money I need to spend on coaches and mentors or software or programs. I don't care. I am going to be there. And I was 100% committed. So you need to commit. You need to commit. And then there's steps. It's actually so simple. It's like building Lego or the Rubik's Cube. Remember the Rubik's Cube? You got a
Yes.
little kid. This is a great example. You got a little kid and he does that. I couldn't do that. If you put me in jail for 20 years, I probably couldn't figure it out until somebody showed you, hey, turn this to right. I wouldn't be able to figure out the Rubik's friggin' cube, but somebody shows you, then it's like, oh, or building a Lego, building a model with Lego. If you have all the pieces and then you have pieces of paper that show you, hey, do this step, now do this step, now do this step. That's what I'm saying. The frameworks and strategies, Letha, they work. The people don't work. It's a mental game. It's all a mental game. All the bullshit stories of coming in, that's not for me. That's for other people. I'm not, they don't say this, but this is what comes from their subconscious.
Mhm.
I'm not worthy enough. I could never make that money. If you're making 100 grand a year, there is no way. That's your thermostat. That's your thermostat. There is no way that you believe subconsciously that you could make 250, but it's actually possible and true and real. We were just heavily programmed. The human brain, humans were not created to be entrepreneurs. We were created, the human brain was created to keep us safe when we we're hunting, like, and from danger, like real danger, not bullshit fears that we're afraid of now, of what people will think and crazy stuff like that. That's not real fears. So that's what comes up. And when you talk yourself out of doing what you want to do, because it's scary and it's unknown and you don't know what'll happen, and fear of failure, because the school system teaches you that failing is bad, but in entrepreneurship you gotta fail. It's like me now. Okay, I'm starting something new. I want to hurry up and fail. I want to hurry up and fail. Lesson, 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 lesson. But if I'm a dropout, so I never went to school. I think I busted that belief. But the school system makes you think that failing is a bad thing. So people don't. I don't want to fail. I don't want to lose money. Like you've got billionaires that spent millions to become billionaires, and then broke people don't want to spend anything to become financially free. See how it doesn't make sense? It doesn't make sense. And it's all programming. It's all what we were brought up. Our parents taught us the way they were brought up. We were all brought up and they were brought up by people who didn't know what they were doing either when it came to building wealth. And that's what you were saying earlier. Like our parents didn't know any better. That's what they were taught. So we were given the crap end of the stick for sure.
But it also seems like people that fall under a tax bracket me included, we tend to be people don't we may not want to people at times don't want to invest, but they don't mind spending in things that don't bring back a return. Any and I have no answer for that. I've just been getting better the past few years. Like we have truly been getting better. And these past few months, thanks to where the world is going, I just
Mm-hmm.
decided it's just some stuff I'm just not gonna be worried about. While I also choose
Mm-hmm.
to go punch a clock even less. Cause
Mm-hmm.
I've
Mm-hmm.
just really got to that point within like the past few months. Cause it's like I'm over so much because I don't think we I tell people we're not the generation that's trying to wait till we get 65 and 70
Right.
as a majority. I just don't see it. And the reason I don't see it because of what I see just happening with people in general. You know, school teachers, nurses, people are just like, whatever, you know. It's like I have no idea where that concept comes from. Like it's okay to consume, it's okay to spend on things, it's okay to buy nice clothes, nice cars, cell phones. But then when it comes to investing, that's where the problem comes in. Like I don't want to lose my money, but you lost your money anyway because I've invested in something that's not bringing me any form of return.
Right.
So what is your insight on that part?
Yeah, that's the dopamine rush, the instant gratification. Like I'm gonna buy this because I want it. I feel good. I have the money, and you get that dopamine rush, and that's the difference between. Um, I think this may help you. So there's four ways to look at it. So people who do not have a lot of money think of money. So there's four different ways to see money, and this may clarify what you're talking about. So people with not a lot of money see money as a tool to survive, to pay their bills every month, and then a little bit to spoil themselves. The next class, the middle class, think of money as oh, I'm gonna get a better job, a little bit better job, and I'm going to invest a little bit, but my main concern as a middle class is to keep my credit score up so I can borrow more, so I can buy more shit I do not need. And then the next class up, which would be the wealthy, they think of money as a tool. So it's a tool. I don't need to buy anything. If I buy this over here as an investment, it's going to buy all the shit that I want because nice homes and cars and dinners out, that's beautiful. There's no reason why you shouldn't do that. But it shouldn't be coming off of your paycheck. It should be an investment that's paying you that money that pays for that kind of stuff. And that's why people can't get out of the trap, is because they're buying all that stuff instead of investing and let the investment money pay for all that stuff. It's just instant gratification, whether, and taking more time to live a better life later. That's what it is. That's what it
Wow.
is. Determination.
Wow. 33 years of street smart entrepreneurship wisdom.
Never
Entrepreneur
worked for
wisdom.
anybody in my life.
That's awesome. So
Always
what
done my
age
own
you
gig.
go? Say it one more time. I'm sorry.
I say I've always done my own gig, never worked for anybody.
Okay.
Now, always up and down. I've been broke many times too.
Okay.
Entrepreneurship, you
Uh,
go broke many times. Those are the lessons and I thank God now for those lessons, because I would not be wise. That's what I'm talking about. Street smart entrepreneur. I got people burning me and bad business deals and just good ideas that weren't good ideas. Like, so that comes from wisdom and trial and error, my friend. Unfortunately, like everything else in life.
wow. Wow. So if it's one piece of advice you could give the younger Darryl compared to what the present Darryl knows right now, what would that piece of advice be?
Yeah, so pay for speed, grab a mentor. I was always into self-development. My father died when I was 25 years old. He was my mentor. And then he passed away, and I went to California. I started traveling the world and seeing other, like opening my eyes to what was going on rather than the little town we lived in. And it's like, shit, I want to live like that. So I started asking questions, guy at the gas station in a fancy car, like, hey, where'd you get that? How'd you do that? I talked to a lot of people. And so I would say, oh my God, there's so many. But if it was me, I'm gentle on others. But if it was me telling my younger self,
Mm-hmm.
hey, pay the fuck attention, find somebody as a mentor and watch them. Go work for them for free so they can show you. You can get any job on this planet that you want. People do resumes and change their cover letters. See, I've never worked for anybody. I would walk in there where if I wanted to be that or work there, I would talk to the owner and say, "Hey, give me a shot. I'll work for completely free. I want to learn this business. I want to help you. I want to do whatever it takes to help this business grow or figure out what the owner wants and be of service to them." You got young kids going in saying, give me this much money an hour. And that they're not even going to do their job. They're like, see the difference how I could go to get a job anywhere if I was 20. And the owner would see and say, hey, if you're willing to come here and work for free to learn this business, that's some colognes that nobody else has, and that's a strategy to get in the door that nobody uses. And you could literally get a job anywhere. Who would say no to a person that eager, that determined, that committed, with that serving mentality in their head to how can I help you in this business?
So if you could do three things different that you already did in the past, what would those top three things be?
I wish I realized earlier how bad the system that programmed us was, because that would have changed my trajectory sooner. Then I wish I would have gone digital, or I wish I would have had a system. See, in years before the digital game, you had to buy a Subway or a Dunkin' Donuts as a system where they had a system working. It took so much money to do that. So I wish I could have figured out a system that worked for me rather than me work for money. And then I wish the third thing was I wish I would have went digital way earlier than I actually did.
Wow, wow, wow.
It's not easy, Letha. Hey, the digital game is not easy. It's not push button money. It's not. They're
Right.
bullshitting. They're lying to you. But neither is going and slaving for somebody else 45, 50 hours a week. That is not easy either. So this actually ends up being easier,
Mm-hmm.
right? Pick
Mm-hmm.
your hard. They're both hard. Pick your hard.
I like that you have on your flyer freedom mentor. Cause even just in this conversation, I'm hearing you, but I don't get as much about money. I'm just getting more about freedom and peace and being able to truly have like a dream lifestyle to be able to maneuver the way
Yeah.
that a
Yeah.
person may or may not choose, to maneuver. That's how I look at freedom. That's just me now.
Yeah.
Now, 10 years ago, I would not have thought that. So with what the older Darryl knows now, and with taking a look back, seeing things that you wish you would have done differently. What advice would you give those people our age and older in regards to the younger people? Like, how would you advise us now to advise them? Because at some point, the cycle has have the cycle has to be broken. At some point, the cycle has truly. Well, I tell people, and this is just me personally, not that I'm coming down on the younger generation, but I tell people this younger generation is not going for some things that we went for because we're their parents.
Mm-hmm.
Now, granted, you didn't work for you've always worked for yourself, but and people would look at me and be like, "What are you saying?" Well, we're the generation that unfortunately they got to hear us gripe, moan, and complain about being overworked, underpaid. If they have heard that for so long, why would they? That's not a motivational tool either. If they see you
Right.
coming home and you angry and all they hear you
Right.
do is complain about the job and you never have money to pay the bills, in my opinion, they haven't been encouraged enough. However, and I know that's like a negative encouragement, but that's truly a reality. Not that I'm okay with it, but it's a truly reality. So, what advice would you give the younger generation, the older generation?
Yeah, to realize that we were programmed to realize that, hey, your kids don't want to do what we do. Your kids are not living in the same world that you are living in, that you were brought up in. It's a completely different world. Completely different world. So you're asking them or wanting them or encouraging them to be like you in a world that doesn't exist anymore. And they're saying like millennials are getting a bad rap because they don't do the things that the Gen X or baby boomers do. But they don't want to, they don't need to. They can make 80 G's flipping stuff on the internet today. Why would they go work for some people who drive them nuts and a job that they don't like? So they're in between. They just don't have the knowledge to actually make. They're not business people. They're caught in the middle. They're not business people. So when you have a business mentality and then you see, holy shit, this digital game, like I can talk to people for free and put my ad there or put my ad there or put some money there, and it's in front of my ideal customers because my ideal customer is this, and you can pick out all those things. And you can do videos and people see them at 2 in the morning and you could be out in the boat. Like this is a completely different world. So I can't blame the millennials for not wanting to do what their parents did. And their parents have to realize that the old world is crumbling. Just because they were in it does not mean they need to encourage their kids to keep touching the hot stove. So it's actually their fault they got to realize that world doesn't exist and to encourage their kids to do something they love, do something that lights them up, do something that they jump out of bed in the morning to do that lights them up, that raises their energy, that keeps them happy. Money will flow when you're happy. So that's how it works. Money is energy. So when you're happy, the more money that comes, and the people who are miserable at work, they keep to that hourly paycheck. It's just the way it is. It's the law of attraction. And if you want to talk about the law of attraction, it's when you if you caught yourself, if you set an alarm on your phone 4 times a day, and the alarm went off, and you said, "Hey, what was I thinking about? Got to go to work tomorrow. Got to pay that bill. Oh, my car needs brakes, I think. Oh, the kids need braces." All kinds of things that you're worried about, lack, scarcity. And if that alarm on your phone goes off 4 times, I won't guarantee, but I'm pretty sure that almost 4 out of 4 times you're thinking about something that you do not want. That's a huge little nugget there. That's something that I do when I say, hey, I want to think about something different. I do that. And it's to train my brain. Our brains are the problem, remember? So it's to train my brain, and I have those alarms go off. But to start for the average Joe, if you just set 4 alarms and said, hey, what am I thinking about when that alarm goes off? You'll notice that you're thinking about something in lack, scarcity, or something that you want you don't have, and you're saying to God or the universe that you don't have it. And it's funny how you just continuously get that same thing. So you're actually repelling money. The law of attraction works.
Wow. Wow. I love it. So talk to us about Darryl Chicoine. Did I say it right?
Chicoine. It's okay. That's
Chicoine.
everybody says that. That's
No.
good.
.com and about your wealth building, freedom, mentorship. Well, tell people, how they can locate you. We just said your website, you got Linktree. Just let people know, how they can look you up, how they can reach out to you, what to expect, all of these great things, if you don't mind.
Yeah, sure. So virtual wealth creators is my newest system where I help people. There's 2 links on the main page, beginners and the ones who are struggling online. Just pick your video and it's going to be tailored to you. So what we're doing is we're helping everyday people escape the matrix. It's exactly what I'm doing. It's my mission. I did it for myself. I made all kinds of mistakes. I spent thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars to learn this stuff. And now I live a freedom lifestyle. So a little bit, 1 minute. My previous business, I had a granite countertop business. I had 13 employees making a shitload of money. Business was great. I didn't have a money problem. I had a time problem. That's
Mm-mm.
why I'm called the freedom mentor now, because it wasn't money, it was freedom. And now I have money and freedom because I have a system working for me. So this is what I'm helping other people to do. It's just, hey, change this system. You don't know how to do it. So we have a done for you system that does all the tech. You don't have to be a tech or marketing guru. We do the copywriting for the landing pages for everyone. It's a complete done for you system service, because I know it's a lot to learn this tech thing. And once you learn it and build a website, I see so many people failing. That's why there's 2 links on the main page of virtualwealthcreators.com. If you're struggling, I know there's thousands of people in groups that are struggling online to try to make money online because they're not copywriters. They don't know what to say. They don't know how to sell without being sleazy. And the ones who are sleazy aren't getting sales. And the ones who are helping and creating systems with great offers, there's a process. There's definitely a process. So I'm helping everyday people escape the matrix so they can actually live free, because we were born in a bad generation where we were, surviving and getting by and not making enough money. So we would have to borrow for cars and homes from the bank. And if you look back and look into this, who's created the school system that taught you this way is the people that own the banks. So this is a financial thing that we've been got the short end of the stick about. That's why I'm now that I busted out of the matrix, like healthcare, you pay for healthcare. You just make enough money. You don't need a job that pays for healthcare. Just make more money and pay for your own healthcare. Like you don't need healthcare. You need a higher income skill. That's what you need. And this is how we help people. And I extract these products from people with their expertise and life lessons and things like that. And we create systems for them so they can live a freedom lifestyle. It's there's actually nothing like it. And I just like seeing people happy and not struggle. So that's why I'm doing this. I'm good. I have a system. I'm good. I'm helping others now because the system is crumbling. It's a bad system where it created humans who are unhealthy, drugs and booze to keep them happy because they were unhappy, overweight, unhealthy. The system is, I can't stand the system. I bash the system every chance I can because it's just not helping humanity. And this is the shift on the planet that's helping now, and that's why it's crumbling. And humanity's not going to struggle. Like the young kids, my grandkids are going to be fine. They're not going to grow up into any of this crap because as the generations move, the older generations, our kids see it. They're trying to do and doing things online now when they worked for money. So that's going to transition to the kids who are 5, 6, 7, 10 years old. Those young kids will be fine later on in life. It's just a funny transition point that's happening on the planet today, and we're in the middle.
We are in the middle. We are in the
Yeah.
middle. Mr. Darryl, when I tell you that you have dropped a lot of golden precious nuggets, one of my desires, and I did a local thing here, yeah, yesterday, Monday, and I my issue is the problem with economics. People don't, we can talk about everything else except bringing people to wealth. Like we can talk about everything else. People can be saved, they can do this, they can be all this stuff. But when it comes to teaching wealth and you even see now on the internet, questions are being raised about why is entrepreneurship was never put in the curriculums in the schools. Like people raise these questions. We got all of these guidelines you got to go by. And you just talk to work, you talk to do this, you talk to do this, and I can just appreciate somebody who has not worked for anybody else, but then you also acknowledge, and you're not trying to make it seem like it's this easy overnight thing. You're making us aware that if you can get up and go do this X amount of hours a week, imagine dividing that in half.
Right.
And making time. I heard, man, with Warren Buffett made a statement that he made a statement about people investing in stocks. And this was an old clip that I watched of him. Because, you see people we think making this quick money with stocks, and you want to, invest tonight and make all this money 4 o'clock in the next morning, and then it's just not it. And his thing was, if you're not willing, and he was just talking about the stock market, to give it at least 10 years, you probably don't need to be bothered with it.
See, see, Warren Buffett, he's that baby boomer. So for me, it doesn't need to be that way. You still have to have patience and work hard, but we could create a system right now. Like we create systems right now. And my people, we have full internet businesses made in 5 to 7 days. And now the people just have to promote it, and we give them a way to promote it where they could make $5,000 in 60 days. So it doesn't have that. We're talking about a different investment, right? So
Mm-hmm.
long term and wait. But this virtual wealth creators in this digital game, once you know the game, see these big people, they create an offer, they create a system, they create a program, and they throw 100 grand at advertising, and they bring all these people in, and they make 500 grand in one launch. But got to know how to play that game. And this is
Mm-hmm.
just steps and systems that you learn from the people who are already doing it. You won't be able to learn this on YouTube. You won't be able to learn this with a $7 digital marketing course. It just doesn't make sense. But you can change. You can make money online in 90 days if your head is down and you follow the plan and you follow the system. and you have the colloons to do videos and do the things and just be mentored, be coachable, it does not take 10 years to turn this game around. You can do it in days. 6 months, I can create whole new people in 6 months.
And I thank you for that, because we have been programmed, and people truly need to know. I'm to a point to where I believe that people have to be willing to make that shift and
Yes.
like get out of our own way. Is it anything that you specifically, I know I threw a lot of questions out there, but I was just trying to take as much in as I could. Is it anything specifically you want people to know? I know I threw a lot of questions out, but is there any message or anything specific that I may not have covered or asked you of that you want to inform us of right now?
Yeah, absolutely. One huge gold nugget that will change a person's life. The gold nugget, the biggest gold nugget that worked for me out of all the courses and wisdom and years of entrepreneurship, one of the biggest things that worked for me and moved the needle the most in my life. There's many things, but if I want to tell your people to actually look up the word ego, everything in it, study it, and then do whatever it takes to break the ego, because the ego is the thing that's stopping anybody from living the lifestyle that they want to live. It is the ego. Once I busted that, and I don't think it was, I still have that. I just say, as soon as that voice comes in my head, I recognize it like that, and it's like, see you later. So I do that really fast now, but that's what's holding people back. Remember, this is a mental game. You can get coaches and mentors to show you the strategies. You can pay for speed. There are programs you can just pay for. The problem is this is a mental game, and it's the ego, the programmed human, and the ego that is holding people back. That is it. And nobody says that, but that is the one thing that will really transform your life if you bust the habits and beliefs of the ego.
I thank you once again for just allowing me the opportunity, but as well for taking the time and pouring out your experiences, speaking about mishaps, informing us about that mindset change, mind over matter, mind over matter. And thank you for letting people know that where their mind is about this system that that a lot of us, you confirmed that a lot of people ain't crazy we thought we was, that we wasn't just conjuring this stuff up in our head.
No.
Sometimes you wonder, is it just you feeling like that?
All the time, all the
Yeah,
time.
so when I say thank you so much, because this is very much needed. I don't think people can get enough of the freedom insight. I don't think that people can get enough knowledge or too much knowledge. I think that people need more of what you have given us tonight, which is awareness, insight, encouragement, and knowledge.
That's all people need. That's all they need.
And when I say it's so, these are things enough we people just don't get enough of.
That's right.
We get the little tads and pieces, but people don't get that, and I don't take it lightly at all. And I'm just so thankful in ways that you can't even imagine, because the cycle, the curse needs to stop. We got to break the curse. And so you're one of the
Income, generational income break, curse
generational
breaker.
income. And that's amazing. People talk about generational wealth, but we're not living generational wealth. So
Right.
thank you being that example. Thank you so much for that.
You're so welcome.
Because we can't do something that we're not doing. We can't teach on stuff that we're not doing. That's
Right.
just the reality.
Exactly.
So
Exactly.
tell people again how they can look at you. I'm gonna let you close us out. Whatever your tidbit is, say whatever you want to say. This is not anywhere where you have to be reserved. You can say whatever you want to say, however you want to say it. It's okay.
Visit me at virtualwealthcreators.com. Watch that video if you're a beginner, you're thinking about doing an online business, you don't have an idea, you don't have a product, you don't have a service, you don't know where to start, you're not technical, you're not a marketing guru. Watch the video for beginners. If you're struggling online already and haven't figured out this yet, if you've got a program or a course, or if you're a coach, and you're struggling to make it online, hit the second button for the other video about struggling online already, and that will lead you to the information that you need. But what I suggest for anybody, if you're or if you want, if you understand about, hey, I need to jump that income quadrants from employee to and self-employed to business owner, this is the way we're helping people with a done for you system. Jump on a strategy call. There's no high pressure. If you don't fit, if you don't, we're going to talk about what you do, what you love doing, what your passions are, what life lessons are, what you went through, and we're going to create some type of a system. I'm going to show you that you can create some type of a system that's going to help others. You can get all the money that you need if you help others. And that's why we're getting back into the serving world of helping humanity, uplift humanity, however that may be. And since I uplifted in the freedom part and the wealth part in my own life, this is how I'm helping people, because I see people struggling from Monday to Friday and just not living happy lives. So that's what we're doing. Get on a strategy call with me. If it's a fit, it's a fit. I'll tell you everything. If it's not, I won't be able to help you, and we'll just go from there. But I'll give you enough information to maybe the next step of where you should be going, or what you think, or what you should be thinking, or maybe what you should be studying, because I can see some blocks. So jump on a call and see if we can get you into a built system for you, and where you can start actually making money online, without all the bullshit that a lot of people go through. You just have to pay for speed, guys. And what I've created is instead of thousands of dollars to start, it's $297 a month, and that gets you in, and it's all done for you. It's an excellent way to start with a small investment, with you know, that is not a big investment. If you can't start a business for $800, then you should need to be staying in the employee quadrant. So you've got to, I can't make you drink. I can lead you to the water. I can't make you drink, but you need a mentor and you need a system, and you just have to follow what somebody else is already doing. Somebody's already just ahead of you, and we just want to help people. We just want to pull them up. And the ones that maybe charge $10,000 to start, maybe there is a little bit of an ulterior motive. But this is what I'm doing. I'm helping more and more people just bust out of that matrix, at 297, at $800 to start, like just busting out of that matrix, and then helping them. And once they get hooked, and once they see what the possibilities are and what they have built in front of them now, that encourages them and inspires them. And now I can say, okay, go learn this. And they're like, okay, whatever it takes. And they're at a different mentality of, I love this. I can see it's going to work. I can see that this is way easier. I can see that I'm helping people with my product and my service and my information, and they're just absolutely love it. So that's what I suggest. Let's do a strategy call. Go to virtualwealthcreators.com, watch a couple short videos. It's not long, and then jump on a strategy call, and we'll try to work out a situation for you to get you free.
Thank
Thank you
you.
so
Thank
much.
you.
Thank
I will
you.
be in touch. And you have been also tagged in the video. So you can
Thank you.
share. Thank you so much. Sorry it was so late, but I do appreciate it so much.
I hope this helped.
You did more than help. Thank you so much. Thank
There's
you.
so much more, Letha. There's so much more.
Thank you deeply.
God bless you.
God bless you too, and I will be in touch.
You have a great night.